Exodus chapter 17. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide Moses, and say, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moses, and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee the elders of Israel, and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? Then came Amalek, and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose out men and go out, fight with Amalek tomorrow. I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar, and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, Because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Here we have another instance of the people complaining. It was like, for these people, it didn't make any difference what God did yesterday. He had to prove himself all over again today. Think about this. Every single day you are being fed. You don't have to go plant anything. You don't have to weed any gardens. You don't have to harvest anything. You get to just pick it up. Put it in a jar, take it home, and eat it. Every day. On Saturday, you pick up twice as much, and you have enough for 2 days. And if Heavenly Father's providing all of this for them, and they just complain and complain and complain, Heavenly Father's trying to teach them a lesson. I will look after you. So they make a big production out of getting the water. They got the water. And everybody's all happy. But then they're going to have to leave and go someplace else. And so there's going to have to be warm water the next place. It's like these people almost never learned. It's a challenge to them. Here we see it says they were attacked by Amalek. Amalek would have been the king of the Amalekites. These were people that were probably descendants of Esau, we dealt with in Genesis. And we learn in Deuteronomy, another chapter, another book down the road, that they would make attacks on the weak and the elderly and all the rest of this in the people of Israel. And so it was appropriate that they go and have a battle with them and get it over with. And that's what Joshua was told. Pick out some guys and go have battle with these guys. But it is symptomatic of the total lack of faith in these people, in God, that they didn't have the courage to go and do it unless they could see Moses. And if Moses would stand there and hold up the rod, it wasn't that him holding up the rod was so massively empowering to them. It was that if he held up the rod that had become the snake, if he held up the rod that parted the Red Sea, if he held up the rod that got the water out of the rock, they believed that they would get some power, and they prevailed. In other words, they would win over, at that particular point in time, the battle with the Amalekites. And if Moses got tired and he had to put down his arms, oh heavens, something's wrong's happening here, Moses is tired, we aren't going to win. These people had no faith, they had no confidence. And it was a problem to them. And so Aaron and Hur set Moses down on a rock. Obviously this man's getting older. And they hold up his hands. And it never occurs to these people who are fighting that if Moses, as long as Moses' hands are up, they don't care why they're up. You know, they don't care why they're up. As long as they're up, somebody's holding his hands up, they're going to prevail. But because of the cowardice of the Amalekites in making these sneak attacks on the people of Israel, God tells Moses, these people are going to be wiped off the face of the earth. There will be no memory of the Amalekites ever. They're going to vanish from the face of the earth because of their cowardice in attacking the children of Israel. If you want to fight against God, you can. But it's going to be pretty tough for you in the long run. And that's what we can learn about this.